Way to go, Ryan. And of course, for Macklemore, for sharing his story and his support for this cause today. For those of you who don't know me, I came to Congress really to fight the opioid epidemic. My background is business. So this is the number one cause we work on. Number one. I lost a nephew to a fentanyl overdose in 2016. It was a long 5-year battle. A battle that included in and out of recovery, in and out of success, in and out of jobs, mental health issues, depression. We know that's co-occurring. And 5 arrests. And we know folks who justice impacted in this area. I do a lot of work with the American Civil Liberties Union myself and through our foundation. And of course, the last issue is it's always tied in research. There's so much more we have to do in research. So he died in 2016, New Year's Eve of fentanyl overdose. Ever since then, we've been laser focused on prioritizing the issues related to addiction, mental health, criminal justice, and medical research, and that connection. We put together a group in Congress. We have 140 members, Democrats and Republicans, all working together on this issue, called our Substance Use Disorder and Addiction Task Force. I'm co-chair and co-founder. Just this week, last night, we celebrated Congress Goes Purple. Goes Purple. And these ribbons and the purple ties and the purple dresses were everywhere in Congress. We had over 200 members on the steps. 200, including Speaker Pelosi, of course. Then we had Republicans, we had Democrats, we had everybody together there talking about the addiction crisis. So together, we've got to continue to work bipartisanship. So as you know, substance use and mental health disorders are on the rise. There's no town, there's no neighborhood, there's no race that does not go untouched. In the area of mental health, 1 in 5 folks experience mental health addiction. Mental health is so important we also address it. Last year, as you know, we lost 110,000 folks to overdoses, 80% were fentanyl. Most disturbing is Stanford estimates we're going to lose 1.2 million people. 1.2 million people this decade. And how can people not be focused on this issue? I mean, it's literally a plane 737 full of folks every day into the Potomac. Think about that. I mean, in a week, it's the same death toll as 9/11. In 1 week. So Congress has got to be laser focused. It's getting more and more so. Unfortunately, the reason is more and more folks know someone that died. That's a lousy way to bring this to the forefront. But that's how it's happening. But your advocacy and all the groups like this is really so important. And we love working with you. Really do. We have to remember these aren't just numbers. These are moms and dads, brothers and sisters, our next door neighbors. They're names. Names behind that. This year the call couldn't be clearer to come together. Despite the challenge we face, we continue to make headway. In the last few years, we've had historic progress on raising awareness, breaking down the stigma, and moving the ball forward. But as co-founder of our group, we had 170 bills last year, 26 of which became law. 26. Including the Restoring Hope and Mental Health and Wellbeing Act, the historic package of 30 bills at the end of the session on investing in research and treatment of mental health and substance use disorder, including one of our bills, which provides $8.75 billion over the next 5 years in state opioid response grants. It's a lot of dollars. We also passed the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, will deliver $11 billion in mental health services. People think of that as a gun bill. It is really a mental health bill. We'll take what we can get. We want a lot more for gun safety, obviously. But right now, what we could get through the Republican Senate was this $11 billion, including $3 billion of that is for our K through 12, for mental health, for our students and our teachers. So these are huge steps in the right direction. But we have to build on that momentum with these recent wins. This year we've introduced the Work to Save Lives Act and an FAA naloxone training for airplanes act bill to ensure every federal building, every workplace, every passenger airplane has Narcan on their medical kit in the facility. Without Narcan, that number is probably going to be over 200,000 last year. Amazing. Unbelievable. We save a lot of lives. And we also introduced the Improve Addiction Care Act to ensure Medicaid prescribers are aware of the patient's overdose history. And the Effective Act to allow the FDA to deny any new opioid application that's not clinically superior to something we already have. We can't let them make more drugs with more opioids in. We can't let Big Pharma continue the death carnage that they started. As long as I'm in Congress, we're going to fight, and you can count on us to do that fight. Although we've talked a lot today about the epidemic, I would also just mention in closing, out of the 20 million Americans, and many in this room, who are all in recovery, we want to honor you for that. My father was an alcoholic. I got him in recovery. Alcoholism runs in our family, it's in our genes, and we struggle with it. So I watched my nephew fight the disease for 5 years and eventually succumb. I understand. It's not an easy journey. But to everyone in this room today who's currently in recovery, be clear. I understand. I'm working in Congress with a lot of other folks. We hear you, we hear the struggle, we see the struggle daily, and we certainly stand with you, we'll always stand with you. It's a lifelong battle, and we can never be alone in the fight. So thank you very much.